Right now, this world is going through a negative period. That is just the age we're living in right now. It is required for certain people who are the right fit to actually play that positive vessel to allow this positivity to go through them, to bring more positivity into this world. I am just that vessel allowing for that flow to come through me.
Hi, I'm Mike Jones. I am the editor of the I Am Creator magazine. And with me today, I have the ever lovely Lucie, England-Duce. She is an international speaker, a YouTuber, coach, and many other things. She's the founder of the Life by Lucie, the YouTube channel with over 70,000 subscribers and millions of YouTube views. Hello, Lucie.
Hi, Mike. Thank you. How are you?
I am very good, thank you. I would like to start this intro with Lucie with some of her manifestations. This is what we're all about here, and everybody's keen to know what works and what doesn't work and how it works.
Definitely, myself included. You know, that's actually what drew me to I Am Creator a couple of years ago, was because I was an entrepreneur who was actually failing in business. I was very stuck. I was broke, was lacking a lot of self-confidence and a lot of self-belief, which led me down the rabbit hole of personal development and then discovering about the law of attraction. So, you know, I am as much of a curious fan of manifestation and the law of attraction as probably most of the readers of this magazine. And from attending a lot of the courses that I Am Creator has run over the years and spending a lot of time with Master Sri Akarshana, that really helped me to get unstuck, which was, you know, and it had been very frustrating. I'd been stuck for a long, long time. And so literally in the space of the last 2 years since having been part of the I Am Creator community, so many things have started to really, you know, pick up momentum, get unstuck. And a lot of areas in my life have been growing exponentially. So the financial thing, which was a huge, it felt like a huge obstacle that I wanted to overcome, being able to have a better relationship with money. I'm happy to say that at last the money is flowing now. More money is flowing to me every single day, to a point where, you know, it's gone from the manifestations that make sense to now I'm in the realm of manifestations that don't make sense. And I'm really into that at the moment, you know, manifesting stuff that doesn't make sense. And not just financially, you know, there are things like relationships, you know, love, relationships.
Yeah.
I manifested getting engaged to the love of my life, to my soulmate, in the most magical way. He took me to a very powerful spiritual energy zone called Vedra, and proposed to me there, which was the most incredible magical experience. And then I think what we're also probably going to talk about today are some of the manifestations, like how I ended up going to the Himalayas with Master Sri Akarshana, well, before he became Master Sri Akarshana. And to have met and spent time with Grand Master Akshar was such an incredible part of my journey. So yeah, those are a few of the awesome things that have unfolded in the last couple of years, to name a few.
Yeah, that's you mentioned India there, and that's of course the first place I met you, because I was also there and part of the beginning of that journey, and it was my pleasure to ferry everybody around and take them to get things started. So we know what you were there for. You were there to help create a video, a documentary video, which I've seen half of. I haven't seen the other half of, and it looks absolutely wonderful. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. And thanks, by the way, for all your help when we first landed in Bangalore. I'd never been to India before, so it was nice to see your face and Rebecca G's face. You know, it was lovely to be so warmly welcomed.
No, that's good.
So yeah, so that in itself, the whole trip to India for me, I think is a real example of how, when it comes to the law of attraction and manifestation, you know, we have a plan. We may have a plan, we may have a vision of what we want, and then the universe often has a much bigger plan, and which can be so much better than our plan. So if there's anything to learn, it's definitely to go with the flow, jump at as many opportunities as you can, even if it's not part of your plan, because you never know where it's going to take you, what you're going to discover, how much of your spiritual journey you're going to end up experiencing. You know, it's those are the best parts of life, I think, are the bits that don't quite go to plan but go even better.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, it started out off as, I didn't originally know that I was going to become the producer and the director of the documentary.
Right.
Initially, I remember Master, or Eric back then, he did a shout out on his Instagram saying, as many of you know, I'm going to India for 30 days for my spiritual ascension to mastery, and we want to create a documentary. Who would be up for being the presenter of the documentary? So I just thought, you know, yes, figure it out later. That sounds amazing. Let's give it a go. I had a basic amount of experience being a presenter. Interestingly, growing up, I always loved making films, whether it was just with my friends, whether it was at school. I was always either in front of or behind the camera. Just fun. And it was, interestingly, now we're seeing how manifestation pieces together beyond your plan. When I was a little girl, it was my dream to become a film director when I grew up.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Long time coming, but it was in.
Yeah. So that was something that was on the back burner. I knew I wanted to do it in my life. I wasn't really actively pursuing it, but I just knew that it was one of the things I wanted to do. So, like I said yes to being a presenter of this documentary, not knowing what it would lead to. I auditioned for it. I filmed a show reel, submitted my show reel, and got the job, basically. Still not really knowing at all what to expect. I was thinking, am I going to be a bit of a David Attenborough or something? Am I going to be, you know, saying, so as we can see, they're doing the downward dog here on the Himalayan mountains. You know, I had no idea what we would do. There was no script, no plan, no nothing. So next thing I know, my flights are booked. I'm flying to India on my own. However long the flight was, didn't get much sleep on the flight, landed at 7 a.m. Indian time, and at 8 a.m. we were meant to start filming. So really just dived into the deep end. Dan was there with the camera. It was such a small, intimate crew. It was Dan on camera, me in front of camera, and we were the whole documentary crew. So he was just saying, like, you know, you can put as much creative input into this as you want. Let's just, you know, make this documentary together. And as you may know, Mike, when it comes to, or certainly when it came to this journey to mastery, you know, from my understanding, Grand Master Akshar, he was receiving instruction from his masters, you know, from the Himalayas, of what to do to help Eric to receive this, you know, this title and this sort of level of spiritual mastery. And so because Grand Master Akshar was in a state of flow and surrender and receiving this information, it meant that we, as part of the team, rarely knew what was going on, rarely knew what would happen next, because maybe Grand Master Akshar didn't even have the full plan himself. He was just following the guidance. So imagine trying to make a documentary in those circumstances where you have no idea what's going on, what's going to happen next. But it really taught me a lesson to embrace not knowing everything, and instead it forced me to have that learning experience of to simply surrender and to flow and to trust that it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
So the journey itself, we can go into a few of the crazy adventures that happened in those 30 days. But fast forwarding to, after we had finished creating the documentary, a whole series of unexpected events happened, which ended up me being the only person in a position not just to be the presenter. I thought my work was done after the 30 days, but then this whole opportunity opened up for me to step forward and for me to edit and direct and produce the documentary myself. So, fast forwarding to now, my mind is really still blown at the fact that my childhood dream to be a film director came true almost without me trying. Yes, it took action. I was jumping at opportunities. I was saying yes to things, but I didn't plan it to work out this way. And that's what makes me feel even more, grateful, really, that it all just transpired. Like there was other forces at play that really helped to make it happen.
Yeah.